Hey, thanks for joining in the Crippled Handyman. Yeah. What is today? It's Monday. Yeah. So what do we want to talk about today? I guess before I want to talk about, hey, why work hard for your employer? Well, there's many reasons why we want to do that. What about you want to strive to do your best, no matter who it is for, whether you're getting paid or not paid, but especially for your employer. I think it's important to always just be the best person you can be in life, and whether it's your own personal life, be the best to your neighbors, and whether you're going out, but as far as for your employer, be the best employee that you can be. It does make a difference. I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been an employer and I've been an employee, or in some sort of management position where you are responsible of hiring and firing, layoffs. We call it layoffs. I only had to fire one guy in my entire life. That was due to coming on a job drunk. Like he literally peed his pants. His whole front of his pants were just soaking wet. Looked like he got out of the pool. And the one big contractor, we're doing a huge school. It's like one of the largest schools built in the Illinois area. He says, "Hey, you got to do something with your one guy." And I saw him, and I just fired him on the spot. And that's pretty bad. That was a pretty bad situation. I know the guy has a drinking problem, but you start bringing that to your workplace. That's not good. That's very unsafe, unhealthy. Just everything that you could even imagine. It's bad enough how many people are going on the job stoned today with all the legalized marijuana, recreational marijuana. I know when people are under the influence. I don't care, cocaine, pot, beer, alcohol. That's the easiest to notify. But you always want to do your best on the job, and they are giving you a job, and you need that job to provide for your family. So why not give them the best that you can to them? And I can totally recognize a good worker from a worker that's more lazy. I'll just say it that way. That's probably the easiest. A lazy worker will work harder to get out of doing the job versus all the work he did to try not to do that task. He could have had that task completed by that time. And it's just, he's just a head shaker. I was taught, to give it your all, to give it your best. And obviously it was probably harder for me because I worked for my father, family business in the HVAC business. And he expected 3,000% every day out of me. And I didn't mind, I guess it's just the way it is, and all the men around that were older than me that worked for him, they were, busting their tail besides busting my chops, giving me shit and giving me a hard time, I remember one summer we're doing a house up in Naperville, We did residential, custom homes, and we did retail and some restaurants, small stuff, nothing major. And during that time of my life period of the HVAC industry, and the guys, if I was just couldn't hold up with them, couldn't keep up. They said, well, maybe, when we take you home, maybe just stay home tomorrow and bake some cookies, So I didn't know how to take that. I didn't know if they were serious, but I knew they were joking around, just giving me shit. And it's not easy working for family. My father, he was a dang good, he was awesome in everything. He was a jack of all trades. But no, my work ethic came there, and I worked my butt off for him. And then when I left, going to other companies, another reason why you work your tail off, because you grow in the company. You grow in positions, more management type positions, and that's what I ended up doing. You end up getting promoted. You could get a promotion. That's where, by working hard, by doing your best every single day, you're showing your employer that you care, and that you're looking to grow. And you'll know if you're in a work environment that there's nowhere to grow, well, then maybe that's not the place for you at that time. Maybe just hang on until you find another place, where you can grow in getting promoted to a higher position, more of like a management position. And yeah, so that's the benefit of doing your best. You get promoted to a higher position, and most of the time that comes with more pay. And that happened with me. And outside of the family business, because I bought into the company when I was 26 years old, the family business, and I don't know if I would want to get into doing a video about how all that went down, because there's well, he's passed away. He's no longer. I mean, both my father and the guy that just took advantage of the company, he's passed on too. But it was a real shame. He wasn't blood, but he was married to blood of the family, and how people could just take advantage of somebody like that. But anyhow, another thing is, having a good reputation of the type of worker you are. Because believe it or not, depending on the industry or whatever you're in, your reputation can get out there and get around. And that's a big deal. So important to have a good reputation. So everything kind of falls in line, as I go down this list, of why you want to work hard for your employer. Another thing is, going back to having a reputation. People that say you leave a company, and what'll happen a lot of times, you want to leave that company, use them as a reference, and you could leave a company without burning a bridge. And you definitely want to use them as a resource, as a reference. And you want to make sure you have them under your belt. You never want to burn a bridge. I've seen people do that. I don't know why. Why do you burn a bridge? All you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot. Yeah. But then it comes down to, it's just more or less, the next thing, self-respect. If you're a good individual, and you want that self-respect. People knowing that everything just falls in line. You're a good person, and don't minimize yourself. Don't put yourself thinking that you know, you're like below somebody. None of us are below anyone. We're all equals as far as human beings. And just because someone has higher authority over you, that doesn't make them better than you. They're just in a different position in their time of the work world. And maybe that's what they were shooting for. Maybe that's why they were doing their best in the beginning of their when they started that job, and they just wanted to keep growing with the company. And before you know, they're say a VP, and I mean, you never know. Then they're a CEO of a company, a CFO, well, you know, whatever. Depending on what industry you're in the trades, you're a worker, say a foreman, not a foreman, say you're a journeyman. And I'm just talking on union talk. So you work out as a journeyman. You're a great worker, and your boss knows, and the foreman of the project recognizes that this guy is really awesome. I'm just going to throw a name, say Kenny. Say this guy Kenny's got potential. And the company's grown because they got awesome leaders that are running projects for them. And before you know it, Kenny is going from a journeyman to where it's talked amongst where, hey, would you be interested in running a project for us? You know, it'll be a smaller project if you never acted as a foreman, where you're basically in charge. You're reading the prints. You're taking off the materials that you need to order for the job in order to get the job completed. And it's a whole different level, different skill. Now you're overseeing people. You're communicating with people. So all these things in these different positions, you have to have people skills, patience. But that's why it's so important just to do your best, and you may impress your boss, or like it says in a construction industry, the owner of the company, he's in the office doing his thing, and he's relying on his top dogs, his foreman, general foreman, superintendents to perform their tasks. And that's not only just in the construction world, it's in any industry. I don't care if you're in the restaurant industry, if you're in the healthcare. There always has to be a general manager, a leader, administrative, something up top that get things together. They clock in first and they clock in last, unfortunately. And if you want to be a leader, expect those. Don't complain about those, because typically you are paid for that position. And I talked about never burning a bridge. That's so important, because if you want to get with another company, I mean, all these questions, you're going to get slammed with questions by the interview, during the interview of being hired. Depending on the company you're in the trades, I wouldn't say necessarily in the union trades, it probably goes like that, unless they're looking for like a specific job duty. If you want to be like a project manager or construction manager, estimator, anything of that sort, where, if you end up burning a bridge with the previous company, and your next future employer is going to ask you hard, difficult questions that they already know the answer to, because they already called your previous employer. And I'm not talking like this type of work, like why work hard for your employer. This even goes down to, I don't care if you work at McDonald's, whether you're a manager or you're flipping burgers, taking orders, it doesn't matter. Give it your all. You chose that job for some reason, whether it's to learn something, you got to pay bills, and so you are hired for performance. And I don't care if the job pays $10 an hour or if the job pays $100 an hour. It doesn't matter. You still want to give it your all. And here's one. Here's one that I learned later in life, from a family member. And of course, you know, it would be my my little sister. And it was told to me that I was with the family business. Let me kind of give you a real quicker course. I was with the family business for almost 15 years. I was part owner, and we had a partnership. I was like the third partner, and I wasn't like the direction the company was going, and gave my father a year warning, like if this doesn't change, I'm going to go. That year went by, I didn't go. I stayed. So thinking that I was going to not call my bluff again. Another year went by, and it was just, I was literally just, I had it up to here. I was literally a full cup of water. I was overflowing. And one thing happened, and I decided I left. Talked about it in another video where all my men were leaving, going union and stuff. That wasn't the reason. It was something else. Then I went to this other company. I was with them for 15 years before I moved to Colorado. And another sibling said that the reason I stayed there and how I got promoted is because I kissed ass. I was an ass kisser. No, I was a hard worker. I have self-respect, and I respect the owners, and everyone around me I respected, and I did. You know, they wanted me to say, "Hey, I need you for the weekend." They were asking me for a reason because of my talent, my skills, and because they knew the job was going to get done, and they could count on me. And so yeah, I got paid for it, whether it was time and a half, double time. Yeah, stupid money. Big money. And I guess being a super great worker, a worker that cared about the company, because as companies close doors, that's one less company for us workers to work for. And that's why. And so going back to the being a butt kisser, you know, it's not being a butt kisser. I respected, and I'm like, I was just a doer. I was there to please the people above me, and not to disrespect them or anything like that. And it was more or less like that. It had nothing. I never felt I kissed anyone's butt. I respected everyone. I provided a service. I was getting paid very well. When you're in the union, you make very, very good money. So in that perspective, you know, with that being said, I don't even know how I could have, like, what would make someone think that I was an ass kisser, because maybe because there's another individual, they can't hold the job down, and they just won't, like, oh, I'm not going to work on a weekend. Oh, I'm not going to stay at night and do this. No, screw that. I want to be home. And it's like, so you could drink your six pack. I don't know. I'm just, but still, you can be an ass kisser in the work field. And, I wouldn't say, is there anything wrong with that? I've seen people like really just like bend over backwards, and like, if the guy was telling me, hey, go pick up my dry cleaning or do this or that, you know, it's like, you could pick up your own dry cleaning. I'm a sheepo worker. I'm not an errand boy. And, another thing that could happen by being a freaking amazing worker, employee, and by showing up on time every day, showing interest in the business, and learning the ins and outs of the business, you never know, that owner may one day, will one day, if there's no other, oh my God, I can't think of the word. See, you know, there's a word. Children, sons or daughters. What's the word? Damn it. Anyhow. So if it was just say the owner, him and his wife want to retire, they didn't have any children that were interested in the business, there's a very, very highly possibility that you could do a takeover. You could buy the business from them. And I know a couple of people that have done that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They tell me their story. I'm like, well, how did you get to become into this industry? It's like, well, I did this for years, and then I started working for this guy, which is the business I own now. And I worked for him for years, showed me the ropes, and I learned everything. And then we would just talk. He would talk to me and be like, hey, I'm looking to retire in the future, and would you be interested in buying my business? It could be a slow buyout. That's the great thing about buying companies from your employer. They will work with you on a buyout. They may say, okay, over the next 5 years, this is what I expect each year. And I don't know if they would ever go to 10 years or not. I'm not sure about that. Never did it, so I don't know. Pardon me. So yeah, you could actually take over the company, and that's the advantages of life. We all have our we are all in control of ourselves, and we can make that decision of how we want to perform each and every day for our employer. And you don't know where that future can take you. Before you know it, you might be the dishwasher, and then in 20 years, 25 years, you may go through all the different stages, work in the kitchen, say an example as a restaurant, and then work as, in the service side and become a manager, general manager. And then before you know it, you could possibly take over a restaurant. I know people have taken out over heating companies, carpentry businesses, contracting, anything, you name it, towing companies, you name it. The list is endless of what you could end up taking over. And then you can end up building your own personal legacy. And if you have children, you could build a legacy for them if they want to get into it. So like I said, it's just, it's very easy to see the hard workers versus the workers that work hard to get out of work. I could spot them a mile away. I've told you in other videos, I pick up food for the food pantry in my neighborhood. And I tell you what, all these people that work at this grocery store, Safeway, they work hard. I haven't seen someone like being lazy or because I'm in the back room or whatever. I'm there for a short period of time, but you get to know the people a little bit, not a whole bunch, just a little bit. You're just saying good morning, hey, have a good day, and it's repeat the next day. But you always see they're always constantly working, doing their part of that of their job. And yeah, it's I wish I could do a video of that. I don't know if either store, I know the one store wouldn't, not with that manager. Yeah, that would be a flat out. No, I would love to do like a video of how the back side of the grocery stores work. And I have a much higher respect for these grocery workers. It's a night and day. As far as when you know what they do. In different stores, it's amazing on who does what, how it's done, how it all works. Some of the logistics of the operations. And it's not that I didn't respect the people. It had nothing to do with that. I always respect people in general. Like it goes back to self-respect and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, being a good person, but it gives you a different level of respect of like, wow, I know that the food that gets on the shelf, I know it starts way before that. I know someone's growing it. I know somebody's picking it. Someone's washing it. Someone's hauling it. Someone's packaging it. All the parts and pieces just to get that product on the shelf at the grocery store. That's a pretty extensive system. And you just, I guess, take it for granted sometimes. I never did, because when when you're always a worker, you just understand how it all works. But I'm gonna wrap it up here, and hope you enjoyed the video. And when you get a job, I don't care what kind of job it is, it doesn't matter what level you are. Give it your all. Give it your all, and strive for promotions. Strive to grow, and you will. Even if you don't grow, it's more or less having that self-respect for yourself. So I'm going to end it on this. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right. Take it easy.